Hello, friends. This is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. Welcome to episode 4 of Water Media Wednesday. Today, the primary supply that I will be using is my watercolor paper and my Mission Gold watercolors. They're super vibrant and very bold, so I thought I'd use them to create a really fun and bright page here. I'm working in out of my 6x6 watercolor journal. It's the handmade disc journal that I have been using for the last 3 episodes and will continue to use. And here I'm just applying some vintage book and music pages with my Liquitex matte medium. And I don't fill the entire surface of the paper with the collage elements, but I do cover most of it, as you'll see here in a moment. And I do apologize in advance if you hear some road noise in the recording. I shifted my camera back over by the window, so unfortunately, it seems to be much louder. So I'm hoping that it won't be too distracting. And here I'm just pulled this birdcage rice paper out of my stash. I thought it would make a nice complement on the page. And then this is a Prima marketing stamp, and I'm not sure what it's called, but it's this butterfly with some pencil lines or just markings. And I thought it was really pretty. Once I was done with this, and I actually have applied some of the Crafters Workshop modeling paste, I kind of wished that I had gone a little bit softer with the background, but it's kind of the way it goes. And this stamp is a stitch stamp from Bo Bunny. And so it's very small and very thin. So I decided that I needed to put it on an acrylic block to be able to handle it and get it on my page. So I'm just placing that randomly around the page. And I did kind of fast forward through that. And I'm not sure where this stamp came from. I apologize. It is a variety of texture stamps that were all together in a set. And here's the Crafters Workshop Light and Fluffy modeling paste. And I'm using this doodle flower stencil from the Crafters Workshop also. I love the 6x6 because it's perfect for this journal series. So because my pages are 6x6. So here is at the point where I thought, it would have been nice if I'd kind of gone a little bit more mellow, but I really got into the watercoloring. I don't do a lot of watercolor, even though it is my favorite medium. So I really let myself go and played on this page and ended up covering the entire background with watercolor. But I really like how it turned out in the end. So I'm using, again, the Mission Gold watercolors, and the yellow is, it's a yellow deep. I apologize. I don't know. I've got abbreviations on my swatch card, but it's a yellow deep. And then the red is Permanent Rose. And then I'm also using Ultramarine and the Sap Green, as you'll see. And this process did take me a little bit of time because, again, I really was enjoying getting the paint down on paper, and especially with that texture. I thought about making these videos strictly water media, but I love the stenciling, and I think it adds a really great element of interest to a page, even when using more water media kinds of products. So there's a close-up of that beautiful texture. I really like how it turned out. And because watercolor is transparent, it really showed the background off quite a lot. So, and here I just took a piece of Tim Holtz watercolor paper. I did find that I stamped on the wrong side of the paper, and so my paints didn't do what I expected them to do, or what I'd hoped that they would do when painting the butterfly. But again, it all turns out in the end. I did this more as kind of like how you would color an image if you were using a marker. But at the end, I do kind of blend the colors out with some glitter pins. I believe those are by Spectrum Noir, but I'll confirm that and put all the supplies used in the video, not in the video description, on my blog. And a link to my blog will be in the video description here on YouTube. Yeah, there's Spectrum Noir sparkle pens, and they come in a variety of colors. And I used the onyx black and the clear on this project, as you'll see towards the end. And on this part of the butterfly, I did just come in with some water and get that area wet. And I am fast forwarding through part of this painting because it did take me quite a while, and I don't want to bore you with the repetitiveness of just coloring that image in. So you'll just kind of see me move around. I'll finish with the yellow and then come in with the ultramarine blue, and then the rose, and then the sap green. And then I will also be darkening it as I go. But again, you'll see that as we move through the video. I'm really crunched for time today, so I'm really trying to get this video up so that it's up in the morning for my Water Media Wednesday post. So I appreciate your patience as I kind of stammer my way through this. It's been a long day. So there, I'm just finished with the yellow, and what I was doing there was just kind of testing it to see if it was dry. And you can do that by kind of touching the back of your hand to the surface. And if it's cool to the touch, it is still wet. And if it's room temperature, you can be pretty confident that it's dry. And so I'm coming in with the ultramarine blue around all of the edges. And at first, it felt very paper pieced and not very fluid or very watercolorish. But again, in the end, it does turn out to be much more watercolor, have a stronger watercolor look. I haven't done watercoloring in quite a while, so I'm a little bit rusty. And I've never videotaped myself doing watercolors, so hopefully that will be something in my future as I get a little bit braver. It's not as forgiving of a media, I don't think, or medium as mixed media. So I tend to really enjoy filming for the mixed media kinds of projects, excuse me. And this is the permanent rose that I was talking about, and I'm just filling in those two sections on the butterfly. And then I'll come in with the Spectrum Noir onyx black sparkle pen to paint the butterfly's body there. And here is where I was able to bring in a little bit more of a watercolor look by bringing in some of that permanent rose to the yellow and then just kind of dragging it out a little bit. When I use the sparkle pen, the clear of the Spectrum Noir at the end, it also does drag out that color a little bit more even than the brush did. And I really liked how it turned out. And I really wanted the butterfly to be sparkly. Not typically a really sparkly person, but I liked it for this project, and I do use it from time to time. And I'm coming in here with the ultramarine blue as well around that little section in the middle of the two bottom wings. And then I'll be using that ultramarine blue also to add some darker green. I mix it with the sap green to make a darker green for the two sides of the top of the butterfly. And there was me just making that a darker green by mixing the sap green and the ultramarine. And then here I'm just coming in with some of that green on the other side, again, blending that out a little bit. It looked a little bit, yeah, there we go. There's the watercolor look. And this is the Spectrum Noir pens. That's the onyx black there that I have in my hand. And then the other one was the clear sparkle. And they are the colors. Maybe I'll swatch those out as for one of the videos, because they are just absolutely wonderful to work with. And they're very, very pretty. They add a lot to a project. These are a water-based pen as well. And then that, I was just showing you that that's the onyx black. And then this one is the sparkle. And I apologize, I didn't raise this up so that you could get a close-up of this, but what the sparkle pen did was it dragged out some of that color, especially in that that section where it's got the yellow and the permanent rose. And it created a really nice blended look and made it look a lot more watercolory and loose than what I had previously. So I hope to do more videos where I can just kind of do some tutorial on watercolor while doing stamped images. I have a lot of stamps and some beautiful florals that I would love to be able to show you guys what my process is for coloring those or painting those in. So, and then I'm coming in with the black onyx and just putting black in all the little circles there on the wings. And then I am going to fussy cut the butterfly out, which basically means I'm just going to cut it out. They call it fussy cutting. I don't enjoy fussy cutting. It kind of frustrates me. There you could see the sparkle, I hope. And I do apologize. When I got up to get those Spectrum Noir pins, I had turned my overhead light on and forgot to turn it back off. So that's the reason for the lighting change here. And then I'm using this stamp from Unity Stamp Company, and it says Live Life in Full Bloom. It is from one of the Unity Stamp Company stamp sets. I have a lot of their stamps, and they are just wonderful, beautiful designs. I make a lot of cards out of them. And what I brought here over to my desk was my Big Shot. So that I can do I can die cut around that sentiment, so that I can give it a little bit of a background to be on for the page. And then here's me I'm going to fussy cut that out. I'm not going to make you watch me do all of that though. And then I do come in again at the end with that, right here, apologize, with the black onyx sparkle pen, and just when you fussy cut things out, often you don't get all the white, so that's a good way to get around that. And so there I was just using some double-sided tape to adhere my butterfly to the background. And then I just took a Sharpie marker to draw the antennas back in. And then I'm using some foam tape to put my sentiment on, just so that it's kind of a little bit higher. It's got a little bit more dimension to it. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some bleed proof white. This is from Dr. P.H. Martin, and I'm going to add some water to that, and I'm going to do some white splatters on the page. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that you'll come back for next week for episode 5. Not sure what I'll be doing, but I sure do hope that you enjoy that. Enjoy them. Thank you. I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.